Hello friends, welcome in. Just hopping on 2 minutes early so I can do all of the things, guys. The tagging and the sharing while we're waiting for some crafty friends to find us and join us. If you're watching this part of my tutorial today, you're most likely watching the replay because I don't see anyone on yet. If you are watching the replay, love you too. Hashtag replay so I know you were here. And as always, if you have any questions or you see anything that I make that you're interested in, please just reach out to me in a private message. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Can you hear me and see me okay? You're the first one in. I am sharing and tagging. Hey, Ramona, your happy mail went out today. Finally, thank you for your patience. All your sweet glitter is on its way. We can finally get our vehicles out of the garage. I was packaging and printing labels and shipping, and my postal lady actually pulled into the driveway to drop packages off because we haven't gotten mail in a week. Hi, Patricia. So I ran out with everything that I had ready to go and handed it to her. And then I had like 4 more packages that I finished and I'll bring tomorrow. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. I look good on this end. If you guys need me to adjust anything whatsoever, just let me know. Tilt that down just a little. Looks like you can see my table. Yay, right for Happy Mail and especially sweet glitter. You picked some pretty colors, some of my favorites. I need to place a reorder for a bunch of stuff. I'm almost out of unicorn candy fizz. Hi, Debbie, welcome in. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jenna. I hope you're feeling better. Okay, guys, 1 more minute and we'll get started. Thank you for sprinkling, Jenna. I appreciate you. Jenna, your request for the signature went in the mail today. I cut a little mitten out of a foam sheet and wrote you a little love letter on the back of it. So hopefully that'll work for you. And it's small enough you can put it on the bottom and it won't hang out. That was my, like when I was thinking, I'm like, what can I do that's small enough that it won't hang out the sides of the snowflake? Okay, guys, it's just about 3:30. We're going to get started. You're very welcome, Jenna. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad Daphne arrived safe and sound. You never know with the mail, guys. You just never know. All right, I have a cute project planned for us today. 17 different colors, Ramona. Currently, I'm pretty sure I have 17 different sweet glitters. What was I just saying? Oh, I have a cute project planned for you guys. I get distracted easily and then I lose my train of thought. Oh, I'm glad you feel a little better. So, I can't remember where I saw this idea, probably Pinterest, because that's where I get 99% of my inspiration. Daphne, she's so cute. She's so cute. I love her. We're gonna make a little snowman, something a little different than you've seen me make previously. Hey, Ellen, how are you? Welcome in. Hi, Teresa, your cookies were adorable. There's my love bug. Hi, Carissa, girl. I'm so happy you had a good night. You and I were talking last night. You need 5 more. So that means you have 11 of the colors so far. Good for you, Ramona. And thank you very much. Hey, Jess, how are you? Okay, so you guys know I love me my snowman. So we're gonna make another snowman today, but something different than you've seen me make before. This one's gonna be having a little tea party with a cute little friend. Hi, Holly. Holly, my nutcrackers arrived. Let me show you quick, because guys, I need all of my time. When you were saying it was a soap dispenser, I thought it was a soap dispenser. like you put the soap in and it has the pump and it dispenses the soap. I actually was pleasantly surprised when they arrived, and it's just like a holder, a soap holder. So I'm gonna leave mine out all year, and I'm gonna use them as tool caddies. Hi Melissa, how are you? Welcome. So I was pleasantly surprised. I was confused. When you said they were dispensers, I thought it had the pump on it and you fill it up with soap and it dispenses the soap. It's more like a holder, and I'm gonna use mine as tool caddies. Hi Sam, how are you? Hi Diane. Welcome everyone. All right, I'm rolling out some white clay. Get the bubbles out and get rid of any cracks. That kind of looks good. I shaved a little bit off the bottom and the top of this styrofoam ball. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. That might not be enough. We maybe can make it work. We maybe could make it work. We're going to go with it. We're just going to go with it. Hi, Christine. Jane Ann, how are you? I hope you're doing well. All right. So we're just covering this styrofoam ball. I didn't put any glue on it, guys, because it's one of the rough styrofoam balls, so it will stick. No problems. If it was the smooth styrofoam. How are you, Jane Ann? Hi, Patricia. Welcome in. Holder. Bath and Body. Yeah, when I opened it and I saw the shape, it's kind of like diagonal. I'm like, huh. And then when I saw it didn't have the pump dispenser, I'm like, oh, score. I'm going to be able to put it on my desk and leave it out all year and put tools in it. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I made the earrings. They're little macaron cookies in honor of Nikki's birthday party today. I didn't have any cake ones, so I said, oh, I'll wear cookies. I'll wear cookies. And my top is Lily Pulitzer. All right, we're going to trim this off close to the styrofoam because this is going to be the bottom part of the neck of the snowman and you won't see it. So we're just going to bring it up. Good, good. How's everyone's weather? You guys, we finally could get my truck out of the garage. It was in there since last Friday. We haven't left our house since last Friday. It finally melted and we could get it out. But it warmed up a little and now it turned cold again. It turned cold again. When I woke up this morning, it was like 39. It's too cold, guys. Too cold, too cold. All right, we covered that really quick. I'm gonna clip kind of right along, guys, because I have a lot of steps in today's project. I pre-prepped a couple of things and we'll see how I end up doing with my time on the pre-prepped. It's raining where you are, Jess. That's weird because Jess and I live in the same state and she's probably, what, Jess, like 4 hours west? And it's blue sky and sunny here. That's so weird, but that happens. My husband will be at the golf course 30 minutes away and he'll call, it's raining. I'm like, nope, sunny and nice here, or vice versa. All right, so now I'm just gonna finger press it with the this part of your hand, that this part. 60s in Nevada, wow. And get the wrinkles out. See, I closed it off on the bottom. I'm not gonna worry about removing the wrinkles on the bottom because you'll never see. And that's the reason I shaved a little bit off the bottom and a little bit off the top, so the little snowman head will sit flat when we add it to the body. Okay, so then you have that, okay? So while your clay is still wet, you're gonna wanna get your eyes. I pulled these from my stash. I thought I haven't used them yet, but I thought they looked cute for snowman eyes. And they are from that. you need winter weather, Diane, I'll send some to you. You can have all of mine. I will be so happy to share with you. I'm just looking to see what is a good side. And as the clay dries, it'll puff up and I'll smooth out. But for right now, I'm just looking to see where I have a good side. I'm going to make 2 tiny pilot holes for the eyes. You guys, I am coming to you today as a guest for the Friday Fabulous Fakers. Thank you so much to the core members for opening up the group for guest designers. Oh, yeah. I've gotten some that were a decent size, but I'm not sure she makes the real big ones. All right, we're gonna use the blue ones. They look cute. So we're just gonna place them on the little face. And then once you're happy with the placement, you're gonna embed them down into the clay. Oh, those are cute eyes, guys. Those are cute. Happy birthday, Nikki. There's my daughter. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweet Nikki. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Hey, Shannon. How are you? Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy you're popping in with me today. I know Fridays can be super busy. Every day is super busy for people. Thank you. It's my pleasure, Sam, and thank you for the opportunity. You know, I love to craft and I love to share what I do. So, all right, so we push those eyes in really good into the head. You want to get aggressive when you're pushing your eyes in, and when you think you're pushing them in too far, you've done just the perfect right amount. Because as the clay dries, it's going to shrink and puff. I don't know how it does it. You're welcome, Nikki. Nikki's my daughter. We realized she is just a few years older than my sons. When she said that, I was horrified, and I said, oh, I'm old enough to be your mom. And she laughed at me. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do, which again, I don't like to do on wet clay. You guys know I like to shadow and shade on dry clay. I feel I get much better control. So if you are going to add shadow to wet clay, just go light and add layers, okay? Meaning put a little bit on, tap it off or blow it off, and then start in the area. You want to add some shadow, and it's going to go on super duper light, and then go back, get another layer, tap it off, and keep adding layers that way. Because sometimes if you have wet clay and you go too dark, it's not like a soft blended shade, and you might have to get a wipe and wipe it off if it ends up being too. Kathleen, aloha. How are you today? What's your temperature? Kathleen and I have this running joke going. I'll say, oh, it's so cold, I can't stand it. And she's like, oh, it's cold here too. I'm like, what's your temperature? She's like, 75. I'm like, stop. 75. Although, guys, when it turns 70 here, I told you guys, that's cold for me. Since we moved to the south from the north, they tell you your blood thins out, and it's true, it does. And I've been living here for like 31 years, so my blood has thinned out. All right, I like really nice, rosy, big cheekers on my characters, especially snowmen, right, guys? Because they're out playing in the snow. They have really rosy cheeks. They should have really rosy cheeks. All right, super cute, right? Okay, so you want to do your cheeks first, and then you can go ahead, well, your eyes first, then your cheeks. Then you could go ahead and do your nose and your mouth. So let's give her a little nose. Are you doing good today, Kathleen? I know for a while there you were having a few little bumps in the road. So I hope everything is smoothed out and running good for you. Maricela, hi. You guys, Maricella's guesting today too for the Friday Fabulous Faker. She's up after me. My sister from a different mister. Her and I are twins all the time. 1 teaspoon of peach taffy clay. And you guys have seen me do noses before, but for anyone who, yeah, Bailey is right here. You guys want to say hi? Come here. Say hi to friends, quick. Quick, say hi to friends. Hi, friends. Tell Nikki happy birthday. Say happy birthday, Nikki. Yeah, Nikki, this is your sister. This is Bailey. All right, mommy's gonna work. You be a good girl. You be a good girl. All right, 1 teaspoon of the peach clay. We're gonna roll it in a ball to get the creases out. Once your crease is out, she is a cutie, yeah. Once your creases are out, oh, there's a little piece of glitter in mine. I tell you guys all the time, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happens. You guys, of course, know I'm joking because my whole, hi Margarita, how are you? My whole craft room is covered in glitter at all times. At all times. All right, roll it to get your creases out. And then you're gonna roll it into a little bit of a teardrop. Like that. And then what I do is I push it down flat on my table and spin it. Push it and spin it, push it and spin it. So the part that's gonna get attached to her face is gonna be flat and not rounded. So it'll attach nice. And then I take it while it's still wet and give it a few twists to make it wonky. I like wonky noses on my snowmen. And then if you have to do any readjusting with the flat part, now's the time to do that. Another little piece of glitter. So the flat part and then the twisted wonky part, okay? And this is wet clay to wet clay, but sometimes I'll use a little toothpick to stick it in, but I'm not gonna today. I'm just gonna put a little smidge of super glue on the end of the little carrot nose, just for a little insurance. And we're gonna give her nose right below her eyes. And I like putting the nose pretty far up, like kind of right under the eyes. She's a little girl, so there's not a lot of room to work with. And then I take my finger, I go all the way around and finger press that little carrot carefully onto her face, so there won't be any gaps. And then this is your opportunity now, if you need to adjust the nose at all, do it now. You don't want to wait until it starts forming the skin, because then you'll get cracks, okay? Hi, Shelby, how are you? Look at that wonky little snowman nose. All right, so then next, guys, I'm gonna come in with my smallest little ball tool and make little pilot holes for her mouth. We're gonna add these black crystals from Michael's Recollections. They're my go-to for all my snow people mouths and little character eyes. So I always like to start with one right in the center underneath where the nose is. That's just how I like to do mine. So I start one there, and then depending on the size of the face, you can either do 3 or 4 on either side. This is a small face, so I'll probably do 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. All right. So I have my pilot holes in the clay. Okay, guys? That's why you want to do your shadow before you move on to any other steps. I have forgotten to do that. You can go back and add the shadow after you have the nose and the mouth on. It's a little bit more challenging. So just try to remember to do the eyes, then the shadow, then the nose, then the mouth on a snowman or any type of character, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna get almost all of the super glue off my brush because I don't want it to leave a big spot of glue. And then I'm just gonna do a couple at a time. I'm gonna put glue, I'll do 3 at a time. In those pilot holes, come in with your wax tip pen. Hi, Carly. I was shipping and running to the post office when you were live, and I was hopping on to catch the last 15 minutes, and I couldn't find you. And then you said that it accidentally got deleted. I'm sorry that happened, but I'm glad it wasn't just me, because a lot of times it's user error. I can't figure something out or find someone. All right, I got the 3 in, and then I'm gonna very carefully, with my finger, push them down. These crystals are like smoothish on one side and pointed on the other side, so I have found I have to be careful when I'm embedding them into the clay because of that point. Sometimes if I try to put the tip of the wax pen on, it'll go off and it'll make it a mark in the clay. You don't want that to happen. So I have found it's easier just to use my fingers, okay? So now I'm gonna do the same thing again. Come back, get almost all the super glue off. Yeah, today was the first day I could ship in 7 days because of the storm. We couldn't get our vehicle out of the garage. It was buried. All right, super glue. Then we'll come back in and grab some more of those crystals. I'm just going to place them with my wax tip pen and then go back in and finger press them in with my finger. This is like the fussiest part of the whole project. I'm pretty particular about the faces on my characters, and I'm sure some of you can relate, Shelby. The face is either going to make or break your character, so I try to concentrate on the faces and make sure there's not any cracks or mistakes, okay? And if there are any little indentations, like I said, as the clay dries, that's going to puff up and they're going to go away. All right, I'm going to put a little toothpick in the bottom of her, and then I'm going to grab my styrofoam block, and we're just going to set her off to the side and let her sit there, hang out, form a skin. We'll move on to some more steps, and then when we go back to add her to the body in a little bit, hopefully she'll have that skin formed and we can be a little rougher handling her. All right, let me clear my table off. Don't want any remnants of styrofoam. Hi, Teresa, how are you? Teresa's my neighbor. She lives about 3 hours away, but she's in North Carolina. Okay, so next, guys, next step is I took a small styrofoam cone. These were the ones that you could get at Hobby Lobby at Christmas time. And it was probably a 4-inch styrofoam cone. And I took my heat tool and just shaved a little bit of the top off. Carly, I hope you're doing better today. All right, so we're gonna come in and we're gonna make her legs first. So for each leg, I have my little recipe over here. I'm referring to my recipe. For each leg, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of white clay. So if anyone wants to reproduce this, I'm going to share the recipe with you as I create this sweet little character today. And that'll take the guesswork out. If you want to make the exact same one that I'm doing, I'll give you all the measurements of all the things. And that'll help you out. Your neighbor only lives about 20. Who is that? Stephanie? Sam? That's nice. That's nice. I don't have any of my crafting friends that are in our community that live that close. But Teresa's in North Carolina. Jess is in North Carolina. Brandy is in North Carolina. And then Jenna is in South Carolina. Right, Teresa, I do know how North Carolina is. All right, same thing, we're rolling a ball. Get all those creases out. Once you think you're good, then you're gonna roll it into a thick teardrop. A thick teardrop, meaning no point on the one end and leave the other end pretty thick. So like that. That's gonna be the part attached to her foot, and that's gonna be the part attached to her body. Graham Crafter, I love that name, that's so cute. Well, that's nice that you guys can get together and craft and hang out and do coffee and all the things. That's so fun. I have to recruit someone that lives near me to start doing fake bake, so we can do fake bake together. My friend Brandy lives out towards you, Teresa. She used to come to all my scrapbook events and day events when we had the B&B, and she's gotten into fake baking now. And I did a class at our local Hammer and Stain this past November. Thank you, Kathleen. And she drove 3 hours to come and take the class. 3 hours one way and 3 hours back home. When, Teresa? Are you for real or are you joking? When are you coming to Emerald Isle? We will get together. Or are you being like you wish you were coming? Or are you coming? When? We will get together and craft. You can come to my house. All right. Do the second one, and you want to try to get it as close to the same as the first one. So just compare them, and you want to flatten. Nice, Teresa, nice. Well, maybe next time I do a class, y'all can ride together. Oh, perfect. That sounds good. Everyone's going to come to Emerald Isle. I had mentioned that the other day on one of my lives. Like, y'all should come out here. Let's do a long weekend. Let's do a fake bake retreat. Since Fake Bakers is not happening this year, let's do a fake bake retreat. All right, and then I'm going to take my scissors, and on each of these legs where it's going to attach to the body, this is just what I do, guys, to remove some bulk. Where it will attach to the body, I slice a little bit off to just remove some of that bulk. It doesn't even matter what it looks like inside there. You don't even have to worry about smoothing it out, because that's the part that's going to attach to the body. So you'll never see it. Slice a little off on both of them. It just removes a little bit of the bulk, so it's not so chunky where the legs attach to the body. Yeah, everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. You don't have to just live in North Carolina. That would be so fun. I know exactly where I would recommend for y'all to stay. The Lighthouse Suites. It's right on Emerald Isle. Real pretty. Hi, Jen. How are you? Did you see the snowman I made yesterday? I was thinking of you. All right, so I'm going to set them aside for, actually no, I'm gonna attach them to the body because I wanna attach them when they're still wet. All right, so I'm finding my back. I did a really good job. I covered this yesterday and I did a good job with the seam. You can barely see it. You can barely see it. All right, I'm taking some super glue and I'm gonna go in that area where we just sliced it off. Put a little super glue. And attach that onto the side of the body. Finger press it in. And I want the legs to be going out a little bit, guys, because we're gonna do something fun in the middle. Remember I said this little lady is having a tea party with a friend? We're gonna do something fun. All right, so that's what your side looks like. And see how when you remove some of that bulk off the top portion of the leg, it's not so bulky sticking out, okay? Same thing for the other one. That will be something so fun to look forward to, Teresa. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. That will be amazing. All right, we're gonna do the exact same thing on this side. Finger press it in onto the body. And see, I said that little portion you sliced off, you don't even have to worry about getting the scissor marks or whatever out because it's right into the body and you don't even see it, okay? All right, get my idea. Perfect, perfect. All right, they're just out a little, instead of right in front, I have them slightly angled out, okay? Super cute so far. She's gonna be a chunky girl, guys. She's gonna be a chunky monkey. All right, I'm gonna come in with some key lime green. Grab a hunk of it. I'll give you the recipe again. So we're gonna want 2 more tablespoons of the green. So there's 1. How many of you use measuring when you do your projects? Measuring spoons and measuring cups. I learned this from Debbie's Bright Ideas and also Jill McKenzie in the Mama's House group. She does the measuring and it is quite helpful if you're going to remake something and you get the recipe for the sizing. It is quite helpful. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of the green. We're gonna make a boot. Welcome back, Carissa. All right, so I conditioned it, woke it up. We're gonna roll it in a ball to get the creases out. Do any of you use the measuring spoons and cups in your projects, or do you just wing it? All right, and then we're gonna roll a real thick teardrop, a real thick, almost like oblong, thicker on one side and thinner on the other, like that. And then we're gonna flatten it down a little to make a boot. And I do want it flat on that end that's gonna attach to her leg. It's gonna sit like that. So on the bottom side, you want it flat. All right, so let's grab 2 more tablespoons. Darlene, you do use the measuring spoons and cups sometimes? Yeah, it is quite helpful. And like I said, especially if you're trying to reproduce something, the Mama's House group, she obviously does the tutorials and the classes, and you can go back and, you know, want to make exactly what she taught. So it is actually quite helpful to have the exact measurements if you want it to come out like the same, like teacher did. All right, let's wake this up. These little boots are going to be so cute. So cute. You guys know I like the cute stuff. Cute factor. Cute factor. What's everyone's plans for the weekend? All right, guys. Rolling it in a ball to get the creases out. And then we're going to do the fat, chunky teardrop. and flatten it on the bottom. Again, just like the first one. Does anyone have any fun plans? Sam, I know your plans. You're working all weekend. Girl, she tells me what all her, I have to redo it, guys. There's a piece of fuzz in there. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I had to get the fuzz out. Sam says her next day off is Monday. And then Tuesday she hits the ground running, doing it all over again. This was my busy week. This is my 6th live this week, you guys. I don't normally do that many. It just happened. So next week, one of my groups I'm taking off because it's too much. I'm gonna take some time. Take some time. All right. Then you just you want that bottom flat, just like the other. Prep for your class and lay flooring. That's fun. Are you laying the flooring in your craft room or your kitchen, Shelby, or both? Because I know you have multiple home improvement projects going on at the same time. All right, so then you have 2. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's a little bit higher on this end than that end, and same over here than that. So I'm gonna put the higher end like on the inside. All right, so then we wanna come over. I am going to insert a toothpick just because I wanna make sure I have a stable base. So I'm gonna insert a toothpick into the one leg, bring another one on for the other leg, just to give it a little extra holding power. All right, then add a little bit more super glue on the toothpick, and I'm adding it right around the toothpick onto the white foam clay too. Even though it's wet clay to wet clay, I want to make sure it sticks. Then we're going to put that boot on. Oh my goodness, so cute, you guys, so cute. Kitchen and the rest of the downstairs, except the bathroom. That's a big project, Shelby. That is a big project. Ooh, that toothpick, I almost left out, sticking out too much. We're gonna put soles on the boots anyways, and so that would help cover it, but whew, you gotta be careful when you leave your toothpick sticking out. You don't want too much sticking out where it pokes all the way through. All right, there's Chunky Monkey legs and the first part of her boots, okay? So stinking cute. All right, now guys, we're gonna make a little cuff, like a little knit cuff to go around her leg and attach to the boot to look like the top of the boot. We're gonna make a little knit cuff. I guess I probably have to stand up. You're having a craft day with friends and family. That sounds like fun, Holly. Do you know what you're working on? That sounds like so much fun. All right, so woke it all up. We're gonna roll out like a thick-ish worm. Thickish. I'm leaving it pretty thick, like that. Like, that's probably a ½ an inch thick. And then I'm a little bit gonna push it down with my palm of my hand. And then I'm coming in with that knit silicone impression mat that I have and push it down to make the knit impression, and then turn it and I do it again. And I'm pushing down really hard, guys, because as your clay dries and puffs up, you're gonna lose some of that impression. So you see I'm going over it multiple times, okay? Pushing it down a lot. Okay, so then I don't want a wonky edge. So I'm gonna come in with my bench scraper and cut a little bit off the top, going across. I don't know how much I will need. And I don't know if that's enough for both of them. We'll see, we'll see. That would be great if it's enough for both sides, but you know, it'll probably be just a tiny bit short. And then I'm gonna cut it off on the bottom as well. So I have a flat edge on the top and a nice flat edge on the bottom as well. Okay, that looks good. I'll hold it up so you can see. Learn that the hard way. What, Michelle? Not pressing your impression in hard enough, and then when it dries, it fluffs up and the impression goes away? Yeah. Everyone gets to pick their own craft. You're doing something with stamps. Nice. All right, let me see if this is the right width or too much. I'm gonna shave just a tiny little bit more off it, guys. I want it a smidge narrower. I don't want it to cover her whole little leg. We don't want to get crazy. That might be enough now. Let's see. This right here is thicker. I need to shave a little bit off there. All right, that's probably gonna be good. Let's see. So what I'm going to do, yeah, that looks good. Lines in something that you make sure you put them in a little deeper than you think. Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna start on the back. And touch it onto that little foot. And very carefully wrap it around. So it's touching all of the green clay on the boot. Careful, careful. Bring it back around to the back. Cut it off. I think it's going to be enough to do both of them, guys. I think it's going to be enough. Got to be so careful. These legs are so wet and floppy right now. They're wanting to pull away from the body, even though I did this super glue. You just gotta be careful. Gentle, be gentle. All right, and then I'm gonna finger press that together. Doesn't matter what the seam looks like, guys. It's on the bottom of the snow person, and you'll never see it once she is completed. All right, and then I'm finger pressing it around to make sure all the green from the cuff is touching the boot. And I'm being very careful to not un-emboss it. Trying the best as I can. All right, so there's the one chunky monkey little cuff on her boot. Okay, guys? And I do believe this is gonna be enough to do the second one. So again, we'll start in the back. Touch it to the green clay so it bites and sticks. Carefully wrap it around. Plenty enough to do both boots. Yay. I love when that happens. Cut it off. And same thing, I'm gonna finger press it together. I'm not gonna be super concerned about that seam in the back. The most important thing is just making sure your clay touches your clay, so as it dries, it doesn't pop apart and separate, okay? See what I mean? That's gonna be on the bottom where that seam is, so you'll never see it. And then I wanna look at this. Again, finger press it around. Make sure all the green clay is touching the green clay. We don't have any gaps. She's got her chunky little knit cuffs on her boots. Cute, right guys? So cute. So cute. Okay, all right, so I was thinking I would do a sole on her boot. How am I on time? I'm on until 45 minutes. Okay. I think I might want to try it. Tricky thing is, because we hand did her, they're so cute, you guys. They're so cute. With the knit cuff. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. The tricky thing is going to be, because I didn't use a cookie cutter, that I just free formed them to do the sole. It's going to be tricky to get it the same size. Let's try. Let's try. In my thinking, I was going to do, I'm just going to do 1 tablespoon. And let's see. Let's see if I can come close. If I can't come close, then we won't do it. All of my snowman making, Teresa is bringing more snow. It could be. It could be. Typically, though, my whole house is decorated snowmen for January and February. I don't decorate for Valentine's. So, I always have my snowmen out in January and February. Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, that's really cute with the knit cuffs. And that's why I put the toothpicks in there too, guys, because I knew it was going to be heavy. There was going to be a lot of clay there. All right, let's just see. This is 1 tablespoon. I don't want them as thick as I made that. I want them thinner to be like a sole of the boot. And then I was thinking I would do a border around it, so it would look like the boot and then the bottom of the boot. All right, and then roll the chunky teardrop. Press it down. Want it pretty flat. Oh, there's an air bubble. Nope, gotta do it again. Air bubble. Hi, Sherry, how are you? Welcome. Happy you're here today. All right, let's try this again. Roll it in a ball. Roll a chunky teardrop. How many of you are like that? If you start doing something and you end up with a wrinkle or an air bubble, Shelby, I know you are. Do you just like squish it up and do it again, or do you just leave it and let it go? All right. This is the trick to see if I could get the sole to look like the same size as the bottom of the boot. Sometimes this is quite helpful to use your acrylic block. Just using my pinkies to kind of push it together to get it to be the same size as the little boot. Let's see. Let's see. Nothing like trying something when you're live. That's what I tell you guys all the time. I'm happy to make all the mistakes for y'all. And then when you go to make yours, you'll be like, oh, Debbie did it wrong. And she said, don't do it that way. So I'm going to do it the right way. Hi, Jocelyn. How are you? All right. We want to make sure that bottom is flat. I think we're getting close, guys. I think we're getting close. Yes, I think we can do it. All right, so we'll take another tablespoon of the green clay. And a little bit more. I love it when a plan comes together, especially when I'm live. All right. We're done with the green, so I'm going to move it out of the way. Now we're going to try to do the exact same thing again. Trickier, easier said than done sometimes, guys. Hi, Karen. Welcome in. How are you today? I hope everyone's having a good Friday. So did we say, I know I was looking down. I might have missed your comments. Did we say what everyone's plans are for the weekend? Does anyone have I know Holly said she's going to be crafting with friends. What's everyone else doing? And Teresa, do you still have snow? All right, push it down. And then we're just going to go around and finger press it until we get the desired shape. You basically are trying to create the same shape. Wendy, this car still has snow on it. Ooh. It's supposed to be really windy here tomorrow, and more so in the central and western part of North Carolina. My kids are in central North Carolina, so I think they're gonna it's supposed to be bitter cold again and quite windy. Right now we're trying to do the same thing with the second one. Getting the shape, flattening it on the bottom. Showing the clay who's boss. Showing it who is boss. All right, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. That looks pretty good to me, guys. I am gonna do some super glue just because. Little bit of super glue. It's so dry in my house from running the heat constantly that it tends to dry the clay out quicker than it normally would. All right, now I'm gonna push that sole onto the bottom of the boot carefully so as not to misshape anything that we've already done. It looks a little weird now, but we're gonna put the little thing around it in that little gap, and then it'll make sense. It'll make sense. Trust the process. All right, super glue. You guys, sometimes when you wing it, it comes out. And sometimes when you wing it, it doesn't. And I'm so glad it's coming out. I'm so glad it's coming out. I'm winging it. Winging it on a live is, can be stressful sometimes. But like I said, if it comes out great, and if not, you'll be like, oh, Debbie's first attempt, she did XYZ and it didn't come out. So I'm gonna make sure I don't do that. All right, guys, so look at these adorable chunky boots. So there's the boot and the cuff and the sole. Now we're gonna come in with some, I think I'll just do white. I was gonna do pink because I did the mittens pink. Or should I do pink? You know, let's vote in this area. I'm gonna make a worm to go around that little area. Should I just do white or should I do pink like the mittens? White or pink? Around there. The first one that votes will go with that color. I'm good with whatever y'all decide. White or pink. There's such a lag in Facebook, it's crazy. I'm pulling out white because I think that's what y'all are gonna say, but you might surprise me and say pink. Pink would be cute. It would match the mittens. Jocelyn says pink. We're going with pink. Girl, I love that. My favorite color is pink. Oh, good. Colette says pink. Jocelyn says pink. The boots are cute, right, Sam? Yeah. I was pretty confident with the first part. The boot part. I wasn't so sure I could execute the second part, the sole. Yay for pink. But I did. So the foam clay gods are with me today. Yay. All right. It's unanimous. Pink. All right. Let's take a little bit first. Because even if I have to do this in two parts, that's fine. Because something long like this might be a little bit more challenging to work with. I think the pink is going to be cute because it's going to match the little mittens that she's going to have on her hands. I'm going pretty quick, guys, because I don't want to run out of time. I have 40 minutes left. I tend to get overzealous when I create some projects, and I know I have 90 minutes for this today, but sometimes when I only have an hour, I get overzealous with my purple. Michelle, you're silly. You're silly. You know I'm not a purple girl. That's one of the, although I made this last week and it came out super cute. The challenge was to use purple. And I love how it turned out. Of course, I threw pink in there. Michelle, you silly girl. You silly. Michelle, you need to come to our craft retreat this summer with me and Teresa and Jess and Brandy and Jenna. You need to come. You need to come. Tell your husband. All right, I'm going to start on the bottom again, guys, because on the bottom you won't see it. I think that's going to be an okay size for this worm to go around. And I'm just feeding it into that channel, I guess you would call it, in between the sole and the boot. Carefully. It's wet clay. You don't want it to stick anywhere you don't want it to stick. Cutting it off on the bottom, and I'm just going to finger press that together. And again, that's the bottom. We're never going to see, so I'm not going to be too concerned. You guys, the pink. Oh, that was the right color to do. That was the right color. All right, I'm going to set her back down and make sure all my clay is touching and I don't see any gaps. Because as it dries and starts to shrink and pull away, I don't want to have any gaps show up. So just make sure all your pink is touching all your green. All right, let's do the same thing on the other. And then move on to her arms. Super cute, right, guys? Contrast of the pink and the green, yes. Yes, Michelle, I'm serious. You need time off. You work way too hard. You need time off. Come. Everyone's invited. Everyone's invited. I guess I'm gonna plan a retreat, guys. I guess I'm gonna try to organize a retreat this summer. North Carolina. Whoever wants to come, come. I'll contact the hotel and I'll get information on lodging, and I'll get that for y'all. I'm serious. All right, we're going to do the exact same thing on this one. We're going to start. Oh my gosh, this is turning out so cute. We're going to start in the back. I'm trying to be really careful so I don't put my fingers anywhere and make a mark where I don't want to mark. We're going to lay it right in that channel between the boot and the sole. See, I set that down for like 2 seconds and it flattened the little worm, the pink worm. So you got to be really careful, guys. You got to be really careful. Bring it around, cut it off, and finger press it together. And then go around again. Make sure all your pink is touching all your green on both sides and you don't have any gaps. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at those bones. I saw that, Michelle. I'm gonna reach out to you when I finish my live. I need to talk to you and figure out. I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm sure you are, but I saw that this morning. All right. So the little boots, the boot, the sole, the fuzzy knit cuff, her little legs. I showed you how to reduce the bulk when you attach them. Super cute. All right, let's do her arms. Oh my gosh, so cute, you guys. All right, so for her arms, I want them smaller, not as chunky as the legs. So I was gonna try doing 1 tablespoon, but let me look and see, because 1 might make her arms too skinny. And you have seen me do arms, super cute, right, Robin? Thank you. You see me do arms where I embed the wire in it when I want to bend the arms to have them dry the way I want them to dry. I'm not doing that here because her arms are actually gonna rest on her little legs. So we don't have to do that. But I'm just not sure that I wanna make sure I have enough room. Yeah, that 1 tablespoon. Okay, I'll still reach out to you tonight. I might try calling you. 1 tablespoon might not be enough, guys. It might make her arms look too small because her arms, her feet, her legs look so big with these boots. You know what I'm saying? But typically arms are not as chunky as legs. Let me get one of my mittens. I just want to see if we need to add some more. And if not, like a whole, yeah, I think I want them a little bit bigger. So what I'm gonna do for the arms, instead of 1 tablespoon, we're gonna do 1.5 tablespoons. So there's 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, and now we're gonna do 1/3 tablespoon. This is where measuring comes in handy, guys. 1/3 tablespoon. And then we'll cut it in half. Okay, put the top on that. So for my 1/3 tablespoon, I'm just gonna roll a log and cut it in half. And now add it to this. So each one of the arms is 1.5 tablespoons, okay? I think that's gonna be good. All right. Roll it out. 30 minutes, okay. Teardrop. Thick teardrop, guys. And again with the second one, that's why I prepped a few things ahead of time. But I wanted to show you how to do the body. And I keep going back in and like babysitting it. Anything that's moving. And I'll continue to babysit it tonight. All right, another teardrop, a thick teardrop. I don't want the ends where her little mittens are as thick as her legs because it's arms. It's arms. You don't want the arms as thick. All right, and you just want these two to be as close in size as possible. Or as similar in size as possible. All right, we're gonna do the same thing we did for the legs. I'm gonna cut a little bit of the bulk off on the inside of each arm. So then when we attach it to the body, it'll be thinner there. Okay, guys? Do you guys do that when you do your characters? Do you cut a little bit of that bulk off? All right, so I'm gonna build the arms with the mittens and the cuff before I put them on her, guys, because this is all wet clay. So once we go to put this on, I want to just put it on and be done and walk away. I don't want to have to put the arm on and go back, try to get the mitten, because you know, it's gonna go, we're gonna rest them on her legs. So once they rest down on the legs, guys, it's all done. It's all done. All right, another little toothpick. Break it in half. Super glue. on one end. Stick it in the fat part of the arm. Do the same thing for the second. Guys, hanging in there with me? Okay, and then we're gonna bring the mittens over. I've showed you in the past how I make my mittens. If we have time at the end, when I finish this, I can go back and show you how to do a mitten again. It's really easy. It's just a chunky little teardrop. I used 1 teaspoon of clay, chunky teardrop, and then slice diagonally a little slice into the chunky teardrop, and then I snip a little the top edge off the thumb to make it shorter than the mitten, and then just finger press all the little marks out, okay? So there's one. I want the thumbs kind of turning in a little bit, so get my placement here. Some more super glue. Add the second little mitten. Okay. 2 arms, 2 mittens. Then I think I'm just gonna stick with the pink for the cuff. I'll stick with the pink instead of mixing a different color. We'll just do pink. So we're gonna do the same thing like we just did, guys, for the cuff around her boots. We're just gonna roll out a worm of the pink. And you don't even have to worry about getting creases and chunks of it out, because we're gonna do the knit impression in it. And I'm doing this thinner. I don't want it thick like the boots. I don't want it thick like the boots. Okay, come in with your impression mat. That's more than we need, guys. That's way more than we need. Way more than we need. Did it first one way, now I'm going back over it the other way to make sure the impression gets in there really good. Okay. Cut some of this off. Cut this end flat. And then what I kind of do is take my pinkies and carefully, because when you squish the impression mat into it, it misshapes your clay. This way you can kind of shape it back into a nice straight line. Again, you just show it who's boss. Okay, that probably is good. This still is way more than what I need. Hey, Stephanie. Hi, Maureen. How are you? Welcome. Okay, I want it narrow, so I keep narrowing it down. All right, I'm gonna come in and wrap it around this mitten. And where do I want my seam? On the bottom there, I think. Just wrap it around. Come back to the beginning. Snip it off and finger press it together. When I snip my ends off, guys, I tend to be generous when I snip it off, meaning I don't try to cut it too short. I've done that before, and then when I try to make the ends meet together, I don't have enough clay. So my first little cut that I do, I tend to be generous and leave more than what I need. Then I'll reassess it and then I'll go back in and snip a little bit more off. If you snip too much off, you can always finger press it and fix it, but it's always better to have a little bit more than what you need. All right, I'm coming back in with the impression mat where I finger pressed it together and cleaning that seam up. All right, so there's the little cuff on her mitten, on the one. Let's do the other. All right, so this is the bottom here. I'm gonna start there with my seam, wrap it around. And I need to cut it right there. You see how I did that, guys? All right, finger pressing that together, making sure all the clay is touching, and then I'll come back in with my impression mat where I have my seam and just run it over. All right, so there's one arm, two arms, mitten, and cuff, okay? You guys still with me? Oh, thank you, Maureen. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and get these arms on this body. We're gonna do her scarf and attach her head and move on. I have 20 minutes left. So, thinking out loud, do I want to do toothpicks? I'm thinking no, because this is so thin. I'm thinking no. And her arms are gonna set on her feet, on her legs. So I think she'll be okay. I'm just triple checking that that cuff is in fact touching the mitten all the way around, because once I get these arms on and they lay down and are touching the legs, guys, I don't want to mess with them anymore. I don't want to mess with them anymore once I get them on and they're touching the legs and the boots. All right, so I'm going to come in where we trimmed a little bit of that white clay off. I'm going to add some super glue, and we are going to add this right up at the top. She's gonna get a scarf, so a lot of that will be camouflaged. Finger pressing it on, and then I'm kind of bending her arm around. And it's going to sit on her boot, and where there would be the normal crease right here, just come in with your tool and make a few lines where her arm would bend, right there. Okay, and like I said, her mitten is going to rest on her boot. Okay, let's do the other side, and then we'll attach her head and make a scarf. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Okay, do the other arm, and I'm holding the bottom of it because I don't want it to touch onto the boot until I'm ready for it to touch onto the boot. I want to get the arm placement first where I want it, even like with the other side. Then I'm going to bring it around and let that mitten touch onto the boot. Because once it touches onto the boot, for all intents and purposes, it's going to stay there. Come back in with my little tool, make the two little lines. And then I am going to put a tiny bit of super glue where the mitten touches the boot so it stays in place permanently, if that makes sense. I'll hold it up and show it to you in a minute, because right now we're holding it. Cute, Kathleen? So cute. So cute. All right. So next, we're gonna attach her head. We're getting there, guys, we're getting there. So, I'm gonna make a pilot hole in here. We're gonna put the toothpick down in with the super glue. And then I'm gonna add more super glue onto the part sticking out and around the base. Come back in with her head. And remember, we just did this in this hour, so I'm gonna be careful with it. Push it on, push it down. Okay. Oh, she's cute. She's cute. She's a chunky girl. She's cute. Look at her. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right, let's give her her scarf. I'm gonna make a two-tone scarf with some of the peach taffy and the baby pink. Okay. She is coming cute, guys. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I told you, but I love snowmen. Who's with me? I don't like snow, but I do love snowmen. All right, so I'm gonna roll a worm in the peach. And I'm gonna roll a worm in the baby pink. Oh my gosh, she's so cute, I love her. Thank you, Robin. Okay, this is like speed crafting. I just want to finish it while I'm live with y'all so you can see how she turns out. It's always nice to be able to finish it while you're live. All right, so how much of this do I really need? Okay, maybe like that much. Piece of glitter. I'm not too concerned again with any lines or wrinkles, guys, because we're gonna do the knit impression on this again, so it won't really even matter. It won't even matter. All right, so put those two together, and then I'm gonna twist them. And for little pieces like this, I like to manually twist them instead of doing the one hand up, one hand down, because I feel it gives me a little bit more control. If it was a thicker, bigger, chunkier, like if you were making a big lollipop, then you could do that. One hand up, one hand down, and that'll work good for you. That technique may work good for some of you. Just when I'm working with small little pieces like this, I like to do it manually. And you see how quick it's just coming together. Just twist it until it looks nice and even for you. I'm going to smush it down. I call pancaking it down. Take your knit impression again and go all over it one time. And then I'm gonna turn it, go all over it again a second time. Make sure that impression gets in there really, really good. And then I do come back in with my fingers to even the sides out. Give it a nice even, like that, okay? And then we will start in the back on our little girl. Her body is dry, but her head is a little wet. It's formed the skin. It's a little wet. So I am gonna start it off with a little bit of super glue. I'm just going back because I pressed in with my pinky so hard it kind of unembossed a little of it. So, all right, so I am going to put a little bit of super glue just on the end, just to help it along. Start in the back. And bring it around to the front. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Up under her chin. Over around to the other side. and then back around to the back, cut it off, super glue again, and I will hold it up to the camera. And I'm being careful because I don't want to un-emboss it too much. It's like a little shawl scarf. Pink and green you would have done? Gotcha. I wanted some contrast in mine. Pink and green would be cute too though. All right, so next for the top of her head, I made a little teacup and saucer, and that's her little friend. Super easy, guys. I took a scalloped circle cutter, cut it into the blue clay to make the saucer. Then I took some pink and I rolled a chunky teardrop to make the teacup. Then I took this teeny tiny little flower cutter into the white and cut to make the drip. And then I rolled out a teeny tiny little bit of a very tiny blue worm to make the handle. And then I rolled out some gingerbread and cut a circle for the face. And then I took my scissors and cut the bottom off of the circle so she would sit flat. 2 of those little rhinestones like I put on the snowman face for her eyes. I made a little button nose out of pink. I made the royal icing out of white clay. And then I made the holly leaves and berries using a mold, okay? Super easy. So this is just gonna sit on her head. I am gonna attach it with a toothpick. So we will get our placement. I want it like right there. So I want to put the toothpick like right there. Super glue on the end of the toothpick. So once we stick it in, it'll stay stuck. And I'm going to push it down pretty far. Right there. Okay. Then we'll come in with our little teacup and little friend. More super glue on the toothpick and a tiny little bit around the base. So when we push this on, it will stay attached. And say it with me, class. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh, Maureen, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so there's our little girl with her chunky boots, her little friend with their tea party. So now we're gonna put her on the base. And the base is a styrofoam cone I cut down. I covered it with a pink glitter foam sheet. I used a cardboard cake round for the base, covered that with glitter foam sheet, and then wrapped some cotton candy glitter cord from Paper Sweeties around the brim of the hat. We're gonna come in with some of that baby pink. And we're gonna make a drip to go on the top to hide that styrofoam, okay? So I'm gonna roll out some of this baby pink. You guys, I have 3 more steps and I only have 9 more minutes. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I need like 15 more minutes to do it justice, but my friend Maricela is up next, guys. Mariposa's Creations. My other little twin sister, her and I, whenever we do duos together, we try to coordinate our outfits. And the last time we went live, we wore matching pajamas together. It's just fun. It's just fun. All right, I'm rolling this out, trying to get all the air bubbles out. Whew. Again, probably a little ambitious to get this all done in 90 minutes, guys, but you, if I run out of time, you guys will get where I was going. All right, I'm gonna cut this out. Pop it out. Clean up the edges, and then I need to extend it. I rolled it at 1/4 inch, so they'll give me some play to extend it. We want to make sure that we cover the top of this hat. So I'm gonna extend it out. Go girl, go. I have 7 minutes. I have 7 minutes. Oh my goodness, can we do it? Woo. I know I'm not, I wanted to make a braid with the peach taffy and pink to put around the base of the hat. I'm not gonna have time to do that, guys. So I will finish it and I will take a picture so you can see, but I just didn't like how that seam looks. So I'm gonna make a worm, just like we did for the scarf, with the peach taffy and the pink again to bring those colors down to the hat. And then that'll cover that seam where the styrofoam cone of the hat meets the brim. Okay, that's perfect, just enough. Let's add some glue onto it. You guys still see what I'm doing? Okay. Come in with my glue brush and we'll spread it out. And I'm making sure I get the glue all the way to the ends, because once I put this on and it starts drying, I don't want any of the ends to curl up or peel up. So I'm making sure I get the glue all the way out to those ends, smooth it around, and then we're gonna add it onto our hat. The seam is there. Check all your edges, make sure it's covering, and then once you're confident that it's covering the top of the hat, you can start smoothing your edges down. Don't worry about any, when you're finger pressing this down, don't worry about any fingerprints, because again, as it dries, it'll puff up. All right, so there's the hat. I'm gonna go around with the peach taffy and pink braid here, and then once that's on, I will apply the holly leaves, and I pulled some white frosted foam berries from my stash. Apply the holly leaves and the foam berries, okay? So, I mean, that's simple. That's simple, you guys. Don't really need to see me do that. I will come back in tomorrow after all this dries, and I'm gonna add some Candyland micro foam beads onto this pink drip. But let's go ahead and add our girl. I'm gonna put a good skewer in there. There's my back with my seam. I'm gonna put a good skewer to hold her. And I'm gonna put it towards the back, guys, because her legs, she's got those big legs. So we'll put a pilot hole right there. We'll add some super glue, stick it down into our hat, and then more super glue. for good measure, I'm going to add some onto the bottom of her as well. Her body and her legs. And then come in and be careful. You don't want to get super glue on your hands. And again, everything's wet. If you're doing this at home, I would probably wait until it dries. There she be. There she be. All right, so then, like I said, I wanted her legs to be spewed out just a little bit because I made a little donut. She's gonna have a little donut right there for her tea party. I made a little macaron cookie, and I will attach these all with super glue, guys. Little macaron cookies gonna get stacked onto the donut. And then this is from Michelle's shop, a little knit. And I thought the knit heart went so cute with her knit cuffs and her knit on her mitten areas. We're gonna put the little knit heart right there. And we can attach these because it won't prohibit me putting the braid here or the holly leaves and berries. So let's go ahead and attach them. First, the little donut. Super glue. It's for her tea party with her little friend, guys. There's the little donut. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Do you like it, Kathleen? Are you going to try making it? I would love for everyone to try making it and then tag me so I can see how yours came out. That looks like a good front for the macaron cookie. Attach it on top of the donut and hold it, hold it, hold it. We have 2 minutes. And then we'll attach the little knit heart with some super glue. And I'm going to put it on its side, laying on its side, so it doesn't go too much up into our little girl. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me this afternoon. I appreciate you all so very, very much. Thank you to Friday's Fabulous Fakers for inviting me to come on as a guestie today. I will, after I do the pink and peach braid around here, I will attach these leaves. That's why I'm not putting them on now. I'll attach them right into that braid, and then the berries. See, I needed like 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes to do the braid around the base of the hat. I'm gonna do it right now off camera. All right, guys, thank you. I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you to Friday's Fabulous Fakers crew. Love all of today's inspiration and creativity. Let's hop over and see what my friend Maricela is doing over on her business page, Mariposa's Creations. Until next time, guys, be sweet. I love you all. Bye.